data. Hello, everyone. So we are presenting the Resilience Engine platform with the Climate Data Library and the Actuary Factory. And here we are on the current situation. So these are the 12 piloting products, insurance products that have already been onboarded in Resilience Engine with more than 100,000 insured farmers, so policies. And we have in this dashboard, we have several KPIs summarizing the entire situation regarding all the economics. And below we see the aggregators. We can see also by gender. We can see the policies by status, so the monitoring phase, the negotiation phase, and even those who have been triggered. If we go below, we see also the performances of the product, premium paid versus payout for each product, and many more, and many more. On the right, instead, we'll see a filter, a navigation bar that helps to filter the product so we can focus purely on the product that we are interested in. So we can filter by country, product type, aggregator, and then below we see the list of all products. Clicking on each of them would just make a zoom on the KPI of that product. And now let's go back to the where everything starts, which is the Climate Data Library. The Climate Data Library is a dynamic weather library. So it's a library because we store a lot of weather data, climate data from the past. We have more than 40 years of data for the entire world for some satellites, but at the same time it's dynamic because it's constantly fetch the new data for the weather data sources that are available and makes those available to the rest of the platform. So the two key advantages of the Climate Data Library are, number one, it helps to price a product, providing all the data in a clean format, very easy to be used for the actuary. The second biggest advantage is that it supports the monitoring phase. So it makes automatic the monitoring phase, enabling the insurer, the reinsurer to assess their situation, their financial exposure. Here what we see is a graphic interface that enable the user to have a look to the content of this library. So Nicole will now explain you how does it work. Over to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Marco. So as Marco mentioned earlier, the first thing I would like to show regarding the data library is the possibility to fetch climate data from different data sources, which are mainly satellites and weather stations. And we already have this rich list, but this can be highly customizable. So in case you think there is an additional weather station or satellite you would like to fetch climate data from, you just let us know and we can easily plug it in. Anyway, I will show you now how to visualize climate data for a very specific location in the world. So I select first the the data source I would like to fetch data from. In this case, this is a satellite. And then I'll go ahead to go directly to my location. As you can see, as I go deeper and deeper with the selection, the map updates accordingly until I see this this way, these blue dots on the maps, and also this list over here. These are the pixels, which are also listed here. A pixel is a portion of the Earth from which I can fetch weather data. How do they work? If I am interested in analyzing climate data for this pixel, so this area, I can click on this icon, so it will show me the pixel on the map, and I will then be able to download climate data either from here or from here. But first, I would like to underline that we have mapped out the whole world really into a community level. So let's assume that a community of cocoa growers or coffee growers or whatever crop lives here. The user will be able to analyze climate data, all the climate data specific for this area. So a very, very precise analysis. But let me show you how to visualize the data. I will click on the download button, as I was saying. And by the way, the system will show me rain data. And the data will be shown in this CSV file, which will be automatically downloaded to my device. And what does this CSV file contains? It contains all weather data back from 40 years. So from 1981 all the way to 2021, so very updated data as well, for each day and month of the year. So this would allow a better climate forecast and minimize human error. Also, I would like to point out that all the climate data for these data sources are easily available online. They are public, but they all come in different languages and formats, which are not very easily readable many times. What the Climate Data Library does, it converts all these different formats and languages into a simple and easily readable CSV file, so in a very user-friendly format. Other features regarding the Climate Data Library is the fact that I can actually combine climate data. Let's say I will select another data source. This particular one is another satellite, and I go back to the same location as before. Now, as the map updates, you'll see now besides the blue dots, I can see the red dots. And this is if the weather data is the pixels of this second satellite here. So the user would also be able to compare climate data from two different sources. And this will highly improve weather forecast and really minimize any eventual error. Another feature I would like to show is the fact that the climate data can be visualized also on the map here. Now, by default, we see data from the last year, but the date range can be easily customizable. So I can select any date range I would like to analyze data from. And these are the main features of the Climate Data Library.
Thank you, Nicole. So another feature that we like to show is the NDVI. In NDVI, we can select Sentinel-2 satellite, and the user can define a specific polygon in a certain area, and from that moment, the Climate Data Library will fetch data. The data will be represented in the way Nicole is going to show you. So that is the area that has been selected. You can have a grid of 60 per 60 meter, and clicking on any point of the grid, you will see the data. So a chart corresponding to the data. We can also see the images that are coming from the satellite overimposed to the area. So giving an idea of a visual idea as well. So you have the data, and you have also the images for each point. We can even go to another area where the grid is even more granular. So we can go up to a grid of 10 meter. And in this case also, you can see the data of each point in the chart. Of course, some data is missing because the satellite doesn't provide always constantly the data, or there is a cloud coverage. So you can work on this data, and actually you can work on this data, but it is also very useful for agronomic assessment and agronomic recommendation. So thank you, Nicole. Let's move to the next subject. So the Climate Data Library is providing data to the ACTUARY factory. The ACTUARY factory is the place where the actuary can easily online create an insurance product cooperating with colleagues any part of the world, because the data will be online in his own private area. And those data can be then, as said, shared, or other peer reviewers can have access to the data of the actuary. And actually they should, because then once the product is being created, it has to be validated by the peer reviewers following a certain process. So we have now Giovanni, which is going to explain how the contract is generated from the interface, and then the next phase will be on RStudio, and then back to the Actuary Factory. Over to you, Giovanni.
Thank you. So here we are in the Actuary Factory environment. As you can see, the look and feel is slightly different from the salesman point of view. And I have this button that permit me to create a new product. So if I click it here and I add some data, I will create a product with specific information that as an actuary I know. I can create, for example, an almond rice product. I can add a name. I can select the product type, that in this case it's of course almond rice. And then I have to upload the most important files for what concern an insurance product. That are mainly the site table and some assets that will be useful to create the term sheet. I will add the site table, that it's a standard file made by the actuaries with all the insurance information for each one of the pixels involved in the product. In the moment in which I upload the site table, some other fields will update accordingly to it. For example, the country, the crop, the variety, the current year, and some other else. But as you can see, there are also some fields that are not filled up, and as an actuary, I will add the information there. For example, for what concerns the satellite, I know that this product is related to a CHIRPS 5 kilometers satellite. I know, for example, that the insurer is GDIC, and I can add a couple of aggregators to that work connected to this product. For example, I can add those three. Going down in the interface, I will check all the data. For example, I will know that this product is on Bangladesh, and it's related to those other information and to those pixels. Going down in the interface, I will find the insurance info for Bangladesh. For example, this product is a premium product. And so as an actuary, I know that I will need to add the average of premium of each one of the pixels related to the product, and the agronomic cost and the VAT. For example, for this product, all the rates are 5.14. I will add those rates to each one of the pixel. Of course, there are multiple inputs, because perhaps there will be some pixels that will have some difference in the average. And then completing the agronomic cost and the VAT, I will automatically have a view of which one will be the final premium rate and the final premium per decimal directly in the currency of the place in which I'm creating the insurance product. Going down in the interface, I will need to add the planting window and the contract start and contract end. For what concerns this product, I know that the contract start and end contract end are the same dates. The start, it's on the 5th of August, and the end is on the 5th of October. So I will do the same for the contract start and contract end, and I will pass to the new section here to add the covers. In this case, we have two kinds of covers. We have the vegetative drought cover and the vegetative excess rain cover. I can add my name to define it better, and here at the end I will find this pixel type information. What does it mean? That we can register an insurance product related to standard pixels or to cluster pixels. Cluster pixels are pixels made by the actuary related to some specific information for the product. In this case, we know that we use cluster pixel because, as we can see here, those pixels are custom made by the actuary in the climate data library. So I will check cluster pixel, and at the end I will need to add to the process some people that will do the reviews of what I'm doing as an actuary. So I will have an actuary peer reviewer, a sales reviewer, and some other users that can be involved in the process. After doing all the filling up of this interface, I can save the product, and I will find it here at the top of the list. As you can see here, there is a message that is saying that this product is already in RStudio. That is the place in which the actuary will work directly in the code.
So we'll now move to Derek, which is now acting as an actuary, and we'll shortly describe what an actuary would see after the product has been created through the interface. Indeed, the resilience engine, the actuary factory, is going to create all the basic code that is required for the specific product. So we find here the product created, the product that just Giovanni has just created. And we have some folders, and 3 folders are the most important. So we have the pricing code, where we have indeed the code to price the product. And here we have, as you can see, the code is already available, but not all of it. So all the code that is necessary to, and here precisely at this point, in this point, the actuary will include his own code. So as you can see, the majority of the code is available, and the resilience and the actuary factory lets the actuary to focus only on the specific part of that insurance product. Then we have another important code, another important file is the term sheet file, which is equivalently already available with the space available for the actuary to define the specificity. The scope of this code is to generate automatically the term sheet, so the contract, according to the negotiation, the policy, the number of farmers who join, the pricing, and everything. And the third important file is the review code. The review code is managing the monitoring phase. Also in this case, you can see everything is available, and also there the actuary will focus on the specific part of that specific insurance product. The scope of this is to automatically monitor the status of a product by location, providing a trigger whenever there are the conditions for the trigger, and automatically calculating the amount that can be claimed. That allows the insurer, the reinsurer, everyone which is on the resilience engine to know what is happening in real time without the need to wait for the end of the cover and then doing after manual calculation. Everything is automatic and in real time. So let's assume that that Derek has an actuary would have done his homework and coded the product. At that point, we go back to the actuary factory, and in the actuary factory, Giovanni will show us what happens. So in that, we will be on the same product, and there we should import the code, but just clicking a specific button that is importing the code that has been online created on Resilience Engine, sorry, on RStudio, that will be then imported on the Actuary Factory. And here we have a first verification, automatic verification. You see it's green, so it is verified that the code is consistent with the Resilience Engine policies and the Actuary Factory policies. Of course, nothing has been written now, so the code is consistent by definition. The next phase is, once this is done, the next phase is for the peer reviewers to go in the product itself. We pick up another product here and show the other two phases. The process validation enables anyone to challenge the code created and see what would be the outcome if we pick up a specific area and we pick up a specific date and we ask the system to produce, for instance, a term sheet. Or we can also do simulate a review. We can simulate phase by phase. In this case, for brevity, we are showing you the generation of a contract according to the parameter that have been included, and we can see immediately the product created, and therefore the peer reviewer is in a position to verify the format, the data, and the content, everything. And so if that would make any sense. Okay, so as next phase, once everything is done, there is what we call the backtime simulation. The backtime simulation is a product validation because let's say that the code is consistent, phase one. Then each phase produce the expected result, phase two, phase three. Does the product itself have a meaningful execution? So how do we assess that? We do take back in time some data. We can go back up to 1985 for certain satellite. In this case, for brevity, we just take a few years. And so the product is executed in the previous season. we can see that the new product is available, and we can click on the new product and move on. Okay, this is a Manrise product 2021. You see there is no contract, no farmers yet, but you can see that you can access all the information provided you have the right permissions, including the code, everything according to the permission, of course. So in this case, she has maximum permission, so she can see all. Once this is done, we can proceed with the next phase, which is onboarding farmers. So farmers that subscribes for policies, we have two channels, the bulk onboarding and the app onboarding. So once it's in the office, the bulk onboarding, if you already have a digital file, including all the farmers detail, then you proceed onboarding them all. And there is quite a support from the resilience engine to filter, to double check duplication, to verify missing data, everything will be reported. On the other hand, the resilience engine has an app that enables the sales agent or the project officers in the field to um, to proceed independently with the onboarding, face-to-face with the farmers in the village, picking up, coordinate, everything working offline, and then synchronized as soon as internet connection is available. So let's start with the bulk onboarding, and then we show also the app onboarding. So over to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Marco. Okay, so for this specific product, before proceeding with the bulk onboarding, I have to select the aggregator because this product was created using more than one aggregator. So let's say I will onboard farmers for this aggregator. I'll just select it and then click on this yellow onboard farmers details. And all I have to do is upload a simple Excel file. Now this file contains farmers details for 6,645 farmers. And I will be able to onboard them just in seconds. So the onboarding has started, and from this progress bar, I can see how it is proceeding. As Marco already mentioned, not only the resilience engine is onboarding the farmers, but at the same time is performing some checks about the compliancy of the data, because some information needs to be mandatory, so it has to be present on the file and in a specific format, which is country based. And if this information is missing or in the wrong format, the resilience engine will notify the user by creating specific reports. So as you can see, the onboarding is proceeding very, very fast. And once it's done, we will see basically all the numbers, how many farmers were on the files, how many farmers have been onboarded. Okay, here we are. So total onboarded farmers, 6,645. Now here we have warnings. It means that 212 farmers have actually been onboarded, but the information is not exactly in the proper format, so we'll have to double check this later. And only 6 farmers have been rejected. This means that either the information that is supposed to be mandatory was missing, or in a wrong format, a completely wrong format. Well, what type of error we have? It's very easy because the resilience engine, as I said, automatically creates this report. Here I have the list of errors, possible duplication, and so on. And here, in case I would like to, double check and recollect those farmers' data, I have a new Excel file where I can find the list of only the farmers who have been rejected. So I will not have to go back and re-onboard all of them again. I will just have to re-onboard those 6. But anyway, I want to show you how this works from the farmers who have been onboarded. So I click on this green button, and I'm redirected to the farmers onboarding. Here, as you can see, I have listed all of the farmers I have onboarded. The counting is also up here. And if I need to browse through all of these farmers' data and information, I can easily do it by using this filtering here I can select the onboarding method. Right now, it's only been done by file, but as Mark already mentioned, we can also onboard with the app we developed. I can select the aggregator for specific sales agent, and I can also filter, search for the farmers themselves by their personal detail. Let's say I would like to search by name. I can just enter a name, apply the filter, and here we are. We have 133 farmers who have this name. I can do the same by location, parameters, and even onboarding date. As I said, besides this bulk onboarding, we also have an app onboarding method, which will be demonstrated by Derek.
But the smartphone is connected to the computer, so he's actually using this smartphone. So the first thing that is here as a sales agent is the available product that has been shared to him or by the project coordinator. So there is a procedure. For the brevity, we don't go to that, but he would just see and access the product is allowed to. So he will select the product, in this case a man-rice product, and then he will select the location to proceed with the onboarding. Let's say he goes on a specific village, and there he can start with the onboarding of each farmer. So he collects the data of each farmer, and of course, if that process can be done, let's say in the office, in a village where the farmers go and show him the national ID and everything, or the sales agent can go to the specific to each farmer, and if that is the case, he can also, just pressing a button, detect the specific latitude and longitude. So there is even a more precise information. So once, let's assume that Derek has already onboarded quite some farmer. Once this is done, and let's assume now he's back and he has any internet access, then he just need to press sync farmer, and all the new information will be shared with the cloud that will verify any duplication and everything. Synchronization is completed. Now we go back to Nicole, which is acting as a project coordinator. She may be in another part of the world. And we will see if we have this farmer onboarded. So voila. So as you can see, this is being Derek. We have the date and time of now. We have it's clearly described that is the onboarding method is bound by the app. And so you can filter, for instance, by sales agent or by type of, in this case, we only see the one that has been done by Derek. But in addition to that, we can follow in real time the onboarding situation. So for instance, let's take another product where we have several sales agents that have that are in the field and are proceeding with the onboarding. So this is a clear example where the single project coordinator can monitor and coordinate the work of many other sales agents. And you can see there is a chart that is indicating the right number of each of them. In addition, you have also a chart that is showing you the onboarding over time. Once the onboarding is done, then the next phase is generating the contract, the PDF, having it signed, onboarding, uploading the signed document, and then proceeding to the monitoring phase. That monitoring phase will be automatically executed and will provide all the players a real-time situation on this policy. So over to you, Nicole, to explain the procedure.
Thank you, Marco. So yes, let's assume that as a project coordinator, I have onboarded all the farmers I needed. I can proceed with the contract generation, and I'll just have to click on this blue button. Now the contracts will be divided by aggregators and by pixel. So I can individually select them, but I will create them all for you. So a total of 6 contracts will be generated. I'll just click on create. And as you can see from this progress bar, I have been redirected to the contracts page, and here I have my 6 newly generated contracts. How do we continue from here? First of all, we go ahead and we negotiate. Here we have a summary of all the products information, including, of course, the insurance data. And the quote is automatically calculated from here. And after calculation, the term sheet will be automatically created and downloaded. So here we see the creation of the term sheets. Now it's ready. So the PDF is being generated. And now that it's ready, I'll just have to click on create term sheet. And here I have it. It will download automatically. And here is the real term sheet. So this is meant to be then printed and signed by the farmers or on behalf of the farmers. Now let's assume that the term sheet has been signed. All the term sheets have been signed. We need to upload them in order to proceed with the contract activation and the start of the monitoring phase. So I click on more details, I click on signed, and I upload again my term sheet. And then I can also select a payment method. Let's assume this has been paid by bank, and I'll just save it. Now, once I save it, this will mark the start of the monitoring phase. So we can see here that this has been done automatically. We see the start date, August the 5th, the end date of this contract, which is October the 5th. So it's a 3-month contract. And here we see that the monitoring is running. So this has actually started.
Thank you, Nicole. Basically, now we have the ongoing process, which happens automatically. The system is constantly checking for new data. So as soon as new data will be available, the process will be repeated and new information will be provided. We can open a PDF here to show what is the outcome. Of course, we have also the Excel file with all the data. So combining weather data with the specific product rules. So for instance, here we see below that all data are made available up to few days ago. And so as Cheers 5 in this case is used, is not really providing data every day, but as soon those are available, they are fetched and confronted with this with the product rules. And as in this case, we see that there are not yet a condition to do any trigger. So there is the pay amount is 0 below indicated in the table, and you have not only the final result but also the details. So everyone which has the permission can access this information in real time. Once there is a trigger, if we go back to the product monitoring, we can show once there is a trigger that green light becomes red, and we have an automatic notification sent to all people that subscribed to this product. So they will be informed by email, having all the key documentation to verify and the link to this page. There are many other functionality, no time for a simple explanation and demo. So lastly, we can go back if we go up and click on the product dashboard. No, on the product dashboard it's the yellow new.
Sorry.
Ti ha messo un nuovo pulsante, Giovanni.
Sì, me lo ricorderò proprio.
So we can go and have a look to the KPI and key basic information for the product in real time. The total number of farmers, the farmer that have been onboarded, the premium paid, the sum insured, and also a status of the contracts and the contract that have already been in monitoring phase and the other that needs to be negotiated. So that told, I said there is much more to say about the platform, but this is a general overview. So thank you for listening. Bye-bye.